Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back with another makeup tutorial, but this tutorial is a little different from my previous tutorial. I'm going to be doing a lot of first impressions in this video. Maxfactor was really kind enough to send me a package recently with some exciting new goodies that they're launched or in the process of launching, I think. And I'm just using those products to create this makeup look too. Besides, I think the lashes are obviously not Maxfactor, and I think just a few other bits, but majority of the look, especially the eyes, have been created use Maxfactor products. If you want to skip this intro and move directly into the tutorial, I'll just list the exact timing of when the tutorial begins so you can just directly skip to that time. But if you want to know all the goodies that I have received from Maxfactor and you want to know my opinion about them, then just keep on watching. So to begin with, I want to just put a disclaimer out there. This is not a sponsored video. All my opinion are completely unbiased. I will never ever speak positively or give you a good review on a product just to support that brand. I will always give you my honest opinion about every product that I use and whether. So let's begin with the eye palettes that they send me. They not only send me one palette, they actually send me 3 different eyeshadow palettes. They all are neutral, but they just have a different undertone. Like this one, the first one that I'm actually using for this tutorial, it's called Golden Nudes. This is more of your warm kind of neutral colors, and it has 3 matte colors and the rest of them are shimmery. And then the second one is Cappuccino Nudes, which is actually more of your cool tone nudes, but they're still very like variable, and I still feel like they're not too cool. They're just, I would call them more on a neutral side. The third one is called Rose Nudes, and this is like your rose gold inspired, more of like rosy undertone kind of a nude palette. Looks really pretty, and to be honest, like I was more inclined of using this palette for this tutorial, but I have done a lot of like mauve and rose toned kind of tutorials recently, especially for Valentine's Day. Just wanted to change up a bit. That's the reason I went up with the Golden Nudes palette. Maxfactor was one of the first brands that I ever used, and I know this is a brand that was really famous for its foundation, for its, you know, just their quality and for their price, especially amongst the makeup artist community back in the days when I was in university. In fact, my first foundation that I ever bought was from Maxfactor, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm not sure about how much these retails for, but I'm sure they're very affordable. I mean, most of their products are very affordable. I can give you my review on the Chino palette or the Rose Nudes palette because I haven't tried it yet, but I can actually give you my review on the Golden Nudes palette, and I won't be surprised if the quality and the pigmentation and the application is very similar with the other 2 palettes. I really like the pigmentation, the application, the blendability. The only downside that I felt was there was a little bit of fall off in my lower lash. I'm trying to smoke out my outer corner. Clean it up and it's fine with me. Honest, like if I'm spending a very small amount of money to buy a palette like this and there's a bit of fall off, I don't really mind that because I'm not spending so much money. What really annoys me is when I buy really expensive palettes and they have a lot of fall off and I feel like I wasted my money. However, I do feel like they could have had a dark brown, kind of like a milk chocolate matte color in this palette, and that would be perfect. But I did end up using the dark olive color in the palette to smoke out my outer V. It was fine, like I didn't have a problem with that, but you know, I just feel like maybe like a matte dark brown would have been perfect for this palette. Needless to say, I still feel it's a really good palette, especially the light gold champagne color over here in the inner corner. I mean, honestly, that blew my mind. I think it had the most pigmentation and it just sort of gave me that pop in my inner corner, which I absolutely love, and I kind of you know, go for that look with most of my makeup looks. Overall, I do give a thumbs up on this palette. If you are someone who's on a budget and who do not want to spend so much money, you know, in an eyeshadow palette, and you're just someone who wants some sort of like an everyday kind of color, then this palette is probably for you. It's a very decent palette. If you want to try it out, definitely go for this one. I really like it. So the other 2 things that they sent me in their package was these 2, and I'm gonna actually talk about them side by side because I feel like they work beautifully together. And the first one is actually a primer called the Maxfactor Smooth Miracle Primer, and what it does, it smooths skin texture. It's like the biggest problem that I feel like I face, and a lot of girls that I do makeup for have, you know, they kind of face the same problem. Their skin is actually not dry, but they have a lot of texture. It does have glycerin in their ingredients. You all know that glycerin is something that really helps sticking your foundation, and it prolongs your foundation on your skin. So this primer actually comes out more of a moisturizer. So to be honest, my first instinct was that this is going to be something more similar to the hydration primer from Makeup Forever or the hangover primer from Too Faced, and it's just going to hydrate my face. But I was actually wrong. This actually not only like hydrates your skin, but it actually converts into this kind of like a silicone kind of like a smoothing primer, very similar to your Benefit Professional or the smoothing primer from Makeup Forever. And it really smoothed my skin, and my skin felt very hydrated. You need a very little amount. I did apply a lot to begin with. I had to actually rub off a little bit. Amazing primer. It feels really high quality, and I'm really impressed with it. I really had a lot of expectations out of this product, but I kind of knew that it's gonna fail because it just sounded too good to be true. And to be honest, I'm not joking, guys. You have to actually try this primer to exactly know what am I talking about, because the consistency is just amazing. And as you can see, like, it really smooths out my skin. It feels really hydrating, very moisturizing, but it doesn't feel oily. So I think this is going to be like my go-to primer from now on, and it's going to be excellent, especially in the summer months. The other thing that they sent me is this foundation, and to be honest, like, I don't know if you guys know, but a lot of companies are actually coming out with these kind of foundations in like a compact format. I know Cover FX has come out with one. MAC had one for a very long time, but I never got around to try any one of them, so I was really excited when I saw this foundation. And what it is, it basically says it's a Miracle Touch Skin Smoothing Foundation, and I'm in the color Blushing Beige, and hats off to Maxfactor to actually knowing my exact shade, because the color matched me perfectly. So if you just twist the cover, you know, see the foundation compact is on this side, and then this bit actually opens up, and you have a sponge, which I hardly use, to be honest. Like, I never use sponges or like brushes that comes out in kits. I have another Maxfactor foundation called Facefinity All Day Flawless 3-in-1 foundation. This is a primer, concealer, and foundation in one. To be honest, like, I think this foundation is not that bad. It's not amazing, like, it didn't blow me away, but it's a very decent foundation. It doesn't oxidize, it stays put. I mean, it's a very decent foundation for the drugstore. But this one, guys, I mean, oh my god, you will see me use this in my tutorial, and the way it just blends into my skin and the kind of coverage it gives. And to be honest, like, I don't see the foundation breaking out, or it's not even oxidized in my face. Like, I've had this foundation on for at least a good hour, and it looks exactly the same. And I did use this foundation underneath my eyes as concealer. I've got no concealer on. I've just used this, and I also use this to clean up my fall-off that I got from the foundation, from the eyeshadow, and it just blended it beautifully in the skin. I mean, on all the products that Maxfactor has sent me, I would say my top 2 favorites are these two. I mean, I feel like they go hand in hand. If you're on the lookout for a new drugstore foundation, this is definitely the top of my list, and I'm going to be using these a ton. Especially, like, I feel like this is going to be my favorite foundation, like my go-to foundation for summertime, because it just looks beautiful. It's not too matte, it's not too dewy, it's just perfect. I can't even explain like what kind of foundation this is, because it's something that's very different. It's beautiful, guys. You have to go out and try this. The other 2 products that they sent me one was an eye pencil, and this is a mascara. The eye pencil, I can't find the cover. I kind of have dropped it somewhere. I'm sure I'll find it once I clean up. I used Maxfactor eye pencils in the past, and you know, I knew exactly what to expect. They're amazing, so pigmented. I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, that was just one swipe, and it blends really well. This actually stayed on my waterline. Like, my eyes are very watery, so I have to set them with like powder. I have to use gel eyeliner in my waterline, but this one stays put. I mean, look. Okay, so the last product that they sent me was a mascara. This is their full/effect kind of mascara. And to be honest, like, I've never ever used a Maxfactor mascara. That's really weird. Like, I used to always use Maybelline to be my like go-to brand for mascaras, or L'Oreal, but I've never used a Maxfactor mascara, so this was my first time using it. The downside, I feel the wand is like really thick and really big, which is not like my favorite kind of mascara wand, but I mean, I tried it on and it worked fine on me. It didn't transfer my lower lash line, which is like my biggest problem, so that definitely passed that test. But I have to still use this mascara like few more times to actually make my decision whether I really like it or not, and whether the wand is really something that actually bothers me. But I think it's a decent mascara. So anyways guys, that was my haul and review all in one. Hope you enjoyed that. We begin with the tutorial. If you guys want to subscribe to my channel, the subscribe button will be somewhere here, so please do click on that, and don't forget to click on the notifications button. That way you will be notified every time I upload a new video. So without further ado guys, if you want to know how to get this look, then please keep watching. Okay, so let's begin with priming our face, and I'm going to use the Maxfactor Smooth Miracle Primer, which honestly, like I think I've already said this before, I am in love with this primer. It really does smooth your skin texture, and it just provides this amazing base for your foundation to go over. Next, we're gonna go in with our foundation, and it is the Miracle Touch Skin Smoothing Foundation, and I'm in the shade Blushing Beige, which is 055, and I'm gonna apply that using my foundation brush. This one's from Makeup Forever, and as you can see, I was a little skeptical when I started off, but then as and when I started blending this foundation, I fell in love with this foundation. It is just the most beautiful smooth foundation. It's exactly what it states. It's a skin smoothing foundation, and I totally agree with it. It really smooths out your skin, and it just gives this beautiful even finish that I don't think any of my foundation has done that. And the best thing is it doesn't oxidize on my skin, which is an A+, because a lot of amazing foundations that I own in my kit actually do oxidize on my skin. I'm just going in with a second layer on just spots where I feel like I need a lot more coverage. It's something which I thought I would never be able to do with any of my foundations. I actually use this foundation as my concealer. It's just something about this consistency that I thought that it would work, and I was so right. It is a beautiful concealer under your eyes. It doesn't crease into your fine lines, it doesn't crack, it doesn't oxidize. It's just beautiful. And the second layer I'm just applying is a lot more closer to my inner corner, just to give a little bit more coverage. But honestly guys, you have to try this as your concealer and foundation. You will fall in love. The only issue is if you have a lot of dark circles, I think you probably have to go in with a corrector before using this as your concealer. Next, I'm going to go ahead and use this pan stick from Maxfactor as my cream bronzer, and it's a little warm for my taste, but honestly in the end I did like the result. I think it worked really well. I received this from Maxfactor the last time I went to their event, and I've hardly used this, so I really like the results over the Miracle Touch foundation. And I'm just gonna blend it using my favorite brush from ELF. This is a stippling brush. It's a $1 brush guys. It cannot go wrong. And I'm just gonna fast forward this because you all have seen me do this a million times before. Next, I'm going to use this Maxfactor CC stick, which I have used in my previous tutorials. I really like the consistency of this. It's a highlighting pen, and it's not really thick or cakey. It gives this very smooth, kind of like a luminous finish, and it's really light on the skin. I'm just going to highlight in my T-zone and just clean out my contour, and then blend it out with my Real Techniques. I think this is the angle contour brush. I think that's what's it called. I'm just going to blend it out. Going with my matte maker compact powder from Maybelline, and I'm in the shade Classic Ivory. I'm just going to pat it all over my face just to set everything in place. It is a very light luminous finish foundation powder, very similar to your matte mineralized skin finish. And then I'm going to go ahead and set a contour in place using the NYX Cosmetics contour and highlighting kit, and I'm just using this angle contour brush from Morphe. I think it's one of their elite collection, and I'm also going to highlight my T-zone using the same contour kit. Next, I'm going to go ahead and put my favorite blush of all time. This is the Strictly Chic blush from NYX Cosmetics. It's an ombre blush. It is beautiful guys. I mean, I use this a ton in my recent tutorials, and I just love it. I think it's so affordable and a very high quality blush. And I'm going to top all of that with my oldie but a goodie highlighter from the BALM. This is called the Mary Luminizer. I used to use this highlighter non-stop back in the days, and I haven't used it for a hot minute, so I was really excited to use it all over again. And honestly guys, this highlighter does not fail me. I mean, look at that highlight. It's just glowing. And we're going to go ahead and also highlight our nose and a Cupid's bow. Next, I'm going to use this eye pencil from Maxfactor, and I'm actually just going to use it as our base. And if you can see, I'm just applying it on the outer corner, and then I'm going to turn it around and use this plastic blender. Honestly, I actually hate plastic blenders like that, but I kind of used this one and I wiped it off with a tissue, and I used it again, and it wasn't too bad. I mean, I couldn't find my pencil brush, so I thought I'll just use this one, and it worked pretty much okay. And I'm gonna apply the same eyeliner in my lower lash line, and then also we're gonna go ahead and cut a crease. Now you want to take your time if you're new to this, and it's all right, guys, if you're not able to form a straight line, that's all right, because we're going to go ahead and clean our cut crease later on in the video. So it's all right, just keep trying and you'll get better. And I'm just going to blend our crease with the same plastic blender on the other side of the pencil. And I'm fast forwarding this because obviously we all know how to blend by now. I hope you do. If you don't, then just do it slowly and you'll get there. I'm gonna start with our eyes, and the first shadow that I'm using is this light brown matte shadow. It's a very neutral kind of transition shadow in the palette, and I'm just going to use it with a Sephora blending brush, very similar to your Sigma E25 or your MAC 217, and you just want to blend it in our upper crease or as a transition in eventual vibrant motions. And you guys know the drill. I mean, I've done this technique 1,000 times before. It's on an Inglot definer brush. I'm going to pick up the light olive color. I mean, there are two olive shimmery colors in this palette. One is a little lighter and the other is a darker. So I'm going to start with the lighter color and then push it into my crease, and this is where we're going to actually start deepening our crease for the cut crease to go. You just want to take your time when doing this process. I mean, to be honest, these eyeshadows really performed very well. As you can see, I hardly had to try hard in blending. They blended out really well. They gave a lot of pigmentation and they stayed put for a very long time. I've gone ahead and picked up the darker olive shimmery color in the palette, and once again I'm just pushing it into my crease to darken it, and then I'm going to take the fluffy brush from Sephora and pick up a little bit of that light brown transition color and just blend out the outer corners of that crease. Next, I'm taking this flat definer brush from Sigma, and I'm picking up the matte black shadow, and this is the time when we're going to cut the crease. Now, because we've already done a cream base for the cut crease, this will actually go on very easily, and you'll know exactly how to go or how to draw the cut crease. And then you want to pick up the same Inglot definer brush and just blend out the edges. Next, I'm going to pick up the same matte black shadow on the same flat definer brush from Sigma, and I'm just going to push it into my lower lash line just to set the cream base that we had put initially. And then I'm going to take this pencil brush. I think this is one of the Anastasia brushes, and I'm just going to pick up the bronze shade from the palette and just blend out the outer edges of my lower lash line and in eventual vibrant motions. And I just went ahead and applied a second layer of the same matte black shadow and then blend out the outer corners. Once you're done with the blending, you want to take the same fluffy brush from Sephora and just blend out the edges, and that will give you that blown out smoky effect. For the fun part, we're going to go ahead and clean out our crease, and to do so I'm going to use the same Miracle Touch foundation that I used earlier on my face, and I'm using a flat synthetic brush. I think this one is, I can't remember which one this is, but I got it in a kit, and it's just a synthetic brush. You can use any one, and you want to take your time when doing that. I mean, to be honest, guys, this foundation is the bomb. I mean, look at it. It just works amazing on as a concealer, as your foundation, as to work as a base on your eyes. It's just amazing. And I'm just going in with a second layer. I've applied 2 layers just to give that pigmentation. I'm gonna set everything in place with the matte vanilla shadow in the palette. This is a Sigma flat stiff brush that I have. I can't remember the name, but it's just a flat stiff brush, and I'm just gonna pat it all over the eyes, and you can see that really cleans out the cut crease and gives that sharp look that we all are looking for. Next, I'm going to go ahead and use my favorite shadow from the palette. This is the Champagne Shimmery Shadow. Oh my god, guys, it is amazing. And I'm just going to highlight our brow bone and then the inner corner later on. Next, I'm going to go ahead and just smoke out the outer corners, and I'm starting off with the dark olive color in the outer corner, and then I'm going to go ahead and pick up the matte black shadow on a pencil brush and then just put it on the outer V just there, and that, you can see, just transforms this look and gives that smoked out look. It looks stunning. I mean, I really like this whole makeup look. I really enjoyed doing it for you guys. Next, we're gonna just use the same foundation to clean out our lower lash line because I noticed there was a little bit of fall off from the eyeshadows when I was doing the blending, but this foundation, honestly guys, it just gives the most beautiful finish. I mean, look at it. I didn't have to even like try hard. It's perfect for every single thing, guys. You have to go out and try this foundation. It's amazing. I'm gonna go ahead and just put the Max Factor eye pencil in my waterline, and then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna tightline my upper lash line as well. And I went really close to my lashes, as you can see over here. Take your time when you do that. If you can't form a straight line, that's alright guys. You can just pick up any flat definer brush and a matte black shadow and push it into your lower lash or your upper lash line, and that will just smooth out all the crooked lines that you may have, which I'm doing over here anyway because I like to do that because I think it really gives that depth in your lashes. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and just put some mascara. This is the Max Factor mascara that they sent me. I've probably given you my review on this. I mean, this mascara isn't that bad. I do have to try it a few more times to give my honest review, but to begin with, I don't think it's that bad. I'm gonna go ahead and line my lips using MAC WHIRL lip pencil, and then apply this new liquid lipstick that I got from LANCOME. It's a matte shakers, and it's in the shade Energy Peach. It's a beautiful peachy matte color. And then I'm gonna pick up the same foundation, guys. Yes, I've used it pretty much for this whole look, and I'm just gonna pat it on the center of my lip, give that ombre effect. And honestly, I loved this lip combo. I think I'm gonna be wearing this quite a lot. And you can leave the look as it is, and you know, just basically you're good to go. Or you can go ahead and put in some lashes. I used these new lashes that I bought recently. This is from Iris Beauty, and it's in the style Cleopatra. And honestly guys, this is one of the most va-va-voom kind of lashes that I've ever owned, and I absolutely love it. Anyway guys, that's it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial and learned something new, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.